Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Just bear with me 1 second. Most High Christ. All right, shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Brother Thumb, Yahweh Shemal, Thumb Bashem Yahushua, Priest and Officer 1000 Yediah, filling in for Priest and Captain of 10,000 Ahmad Yashar, and this is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Now, Israel. Brotherhood is important because it is the stability that we have, man, amongst each other, and more importantly, with our King. You know what I mean? With our power, Yahweh. First off, the Lord said, you know what I mean, to love the Most High with all thy mind, all thy soul, all thy strength, and thy spirit, and love thy neighbor as thyself, and to love your brother and your sister as you would yourself. Now, this is the time to do that. You want to know why? Because the oppressor's kingdom is falling. Babylon is falling. You see it. Olympus has fallen. So we're going to go over, you know what I mean, the Capitol riots. I got an article or two I want to bring out on it in specific. Because our people, you know, you put your stock in America, what you shouldn't do. You put your trust in things that are evil and that are carnal. And the scriptures say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. The sad thing is, and our people realize that. You want to know how they realized it? You went out there, right? And you tried to have peace with an evil, wicked kingdom, which is America. And you know what we got for it? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you in 1 second, because everybody's talking about the riots that went on at the Capitol building. And I want to show you a picture that I have. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Bear with me 1 second. Let me cast this to the screen. See, this right here, and this is an actual picture. This right here, Trump 2020, such a sore loser. Got the candles lit, got the fire lit. Goes to show you, man, that America is falling. Babylon is falling. And this is why the Lord wanted us to be separate from them. You want to know why the Lord wanted us to be separate from them? Because we have to understand we are not the same as these evil, wicked bastards. And tonight we're going to go over on how you know we ain't the same people, on how you know that we cannot seek to have peace with these evil, wicked devils. First of all, we have to understand these are the people that you're trying to have peace with. These are the people that you are seeking to have unity with. And we cannot have unity with these evil devils, man. You want to know why? Because the oppressor himself is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. He is. And us as the Lord's chosen people, we need to separate from them. We need to be separate. You want to know why? Because we're better than these people. The scriptures say, as a matter of fact, I buy. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Oh, sure. Give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Also, give me 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Let's go with Deuteronomy 7 and 6 first, Bubba Show.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
It says, for thou art a holy people. We have to understand, black man, First Nation man and woman, Hispanic man and woman, we are a holy people. Holy meaning to be separate. Holy ain't what you think it is. Holy ain't your grandma with the feathered hat, with the white robe and gown on. Your pastor, you know what I mean, is driving the Rolls Royce, that's wearing the all white. That's not what it means to be holy. Holy means to be separate. Read on.
unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. Meaning that we are separate unto the Most High. Meaning we're not supposed to be in unison with these people. We went out there to go out there and protest and march. Went out there to riot and salute. For what? To seek acceptance from people who don't give a damn about us, who don't care about us whatsoever. When the Lord is telling us that we are a holy people, a separate people, we don't.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
There you go. The Lord chose us to be a special people unto himself. Meaning this. There is no one more special than blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. Ain't nothing special about the oppressor. Separation is the key for us to go on the rise, man. In order for us to build Christ's kingdom, we must separate from this wicked kingdom right here.
Right.
They have anarchy amongst themselves. Satan is divided against himself. The scriptures say, can Satan cast out Satan? He can't. Because a house divided against itself shall not stand. And America is divided against itself. And we need to take this opportunity to understand, man, that the Lord, holy people, a separate people, a special people, that we don't need to sit up here and to put our eggs in the basket of the oppressor. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. I understand it's rough out here. I understand you love this place. I understand that you just living so well here in America, that you love your white daddy, the oppressor, who is the devil the Bible speaks of. But the scriptures told us that we are special. Ain't nothing special about them. While they're going through this chaos and this anarchy right now, we need to kick back, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman, and stand back and stand by. That is what we must do. We can't sit up here and choose a side when it comes to them, when we have a king. And his name is Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shah Mashiach in the Hebrew. You don't have a stake between Lucifer and Satan, Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Who gives a damn about that? Let them devils kill each other over that nonsense. And let us build Christ's kingdom. But the Lord told us that we are a special people unto the Most High. The Lord God hath chosen us, read on.
Above all people.
To be a what?
Above all people.
We are above all people. We are above that chaos at the Capitol building. We are above the anarchy. We are above Antifa. We are above the Proud Boys. We are above the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Arabs. We need to sit back and just let them fight each other. Let them do their own thing. Right. You know that brother Steve Willis that be refereeing those fights, man? That brother, that's how we should have been. That's how we should have been. That's how I was. I kicked back like by and I saw it. I said, whoo. Watching All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter watching All Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter go at each other. That's what we have to do. Because we are a special people unto the Most High, above all people. We are above them. These people don't know how to lead. Right. They don't. Their kingdom is divided against itself, man. But Christ's kingdom, the kingdom we build in the area of the Light School of UPK, guess what? That kingdom ain't going to be divided. And ain't going to be no division. It's going to be rank and order, all under the Most High Christ, man. Read on.
Oh, God. That are upon the face of the earth.
That are upon the face of the earth, meaning that we are above all of these stinking heathens, man. All of them. Now, we have to understand. I know you saw what happened and thought, wow, this is crazy. That couldn't have been us. Well, you are absolutely right. That couldn't have been your black ass. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it couldn't have been you. There was a sister a couple of years ago, a sister that was murdered, who was a dentist, who had a mental breakdown. And this mental breakdown, had her kids in the back of her car, and she drove up. You know what I mean? She wasn't even at the Capitol building. She got a little too close. And she was murdered by the Capitol Police and the Secret Service. They murdered our sister. Her sister recently spoke out. We read about this in Black Watch yesterday. Also tune in to Black Watch every Monday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. We brought that story out, man. That sister was outraged because her sister didn't have to die. She didn't have to die. Because you see what happened right there at the Capitol building. And that's just one of the photographs that I have. There's many more. As a matter of fact, let's get another one. That sister was murdered for just being a sister. And it goes to show you, man, that we are not on equal footing with those devils, man. We not. Also, Donald Trump, that evil bastard, that devil, was talking about how our Mexican brothers and sisters, who are the greatest people on God's great earth, man, of the tribe of Issachar, talking about that they are rapists, some of they are monsters. You know what I mean? They taking all the jobs. We need to build a wall. What do y'all see right here? You're worried about Issachar climbing the wall. Well, look at that, Bob. Look at Esau.
Right.
Look at the oppressor, and a couple of them fell. Y'all lucky I couldn't find the video of that one devil falling on his face, because I would play it. I would play it. You know I would.
Right.
Because it goes to show you just how hypocritical these evil monsters are. And what we need to do is take the time to understand, man, that, and I've been saying this for the longest. Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman, you need to hear this. You are not free, white, and 21. Right. You're not. How do you know you're not free, white, and 21? You could have never gotten that close to the Capitol building as a black or Hispanic or a First Nation man and woman. You couldn't do it. They would not let your black ass that close. As a matter of fact, how could I forget? Our brothers and sisters of the First Nation, Gadites, they tried to protest themselves, right? Back in July. They protest the 4th of July every year. They was trying to protest down by Mount Rushmore, and Trump met them and put up a blockade where they could not protest there. And while they could not protest at the Capitol building, meaning they didn't let the Gadites and the Reubenites protest. They didn't let your black ass, and you know what I mean, Salaki with the language, to get that close to the Capitol building. They didn't. You was met with armed security. As a matter of fact, I have the article. And I'm going to read it for you right here. I'm going to go into some articles tonight. We're going to go into a couple different stories. We're going to switch it up. I'm going to put the article on the board too, just so you can see it. Just so you can understand, you know what I mean, that you are not free, white, and 21 here in America. It says DC police, this is CNN. CNN reported that DC police made far more arrests at the height of the Black Lives Matter protest than during the Capitol clash. Could you imagine that? Could you look at that? It just goes to show you, right? It just goes to show you that we don't have equal footing with these devils. Right. They can go ahead and do that. They can do it. Well, guess what? We ain't the same as them. We are not the same as those people, man. We are not. Read Deuteronomy 7 and 6 again. For matter of fact, Barzal, give me 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 9.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Salatis, you had 2nd Ezra 6 and 9?
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the end of the world, man. Esau is the end of the world, meaning that the oppressor's world, the oppressor's age in society is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. We at the end of his society. And you know whose kingdom is on the rise? Read on.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. This is the end right here. As a matter of fact, there we go. It says, police made far more arrests at the height of the Black Lives Matter protest than during the Capitol. Meaning this, you know, as a black or Hispanic, you out there protesting the unjust murder of our brother George Floyd and of Ramon Lopez. You can forget about it. Breonna Taylor, Vanessa Gilliam, Rashad Brooks, Ahmaud Arbery. They made more arrests when blacks and Hispanics out there protesting than the oppressors showing up and storming the Capitol building. Which goes to show you that we are not on equal footing with these people. How do you know that? How do you know? Because they made far more arrests. They wasn't arresting their own. Trump went out there and said and put it out. Then guess what? Do not use lethal force against those people out there. Like Trump said back, what was it, 2016 and 17 in Charlottesville, North Carolina, where those devils was out there protesting with TPs, upset about our Mexican brothers and sisters, upset at us. Trump said it was good people out there. Well, he said you can't use lethal force against those good people out there. But for us, oh man, shoot first and ask questions later. It just goes to show you, and it just goes to show you just how evil the oppressor is. This is why Esau is the end of the world. Read it again.
Come on, God. For Esau is the end of the world.
He's the end. His age of society is coming to a close.
Right.
And guess what? Ours is on the rise. Read on, Barzell.
Come on, God. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. You have to understand that rioting and protesting and looting without being arrested and charged for it, that's a white man luxury. That's a benefit that these devils get. Tim can go out there to Washington, D.C. and steal the podium. He can do that. As a matter of fact, I got that picture, as a matter of fact. You know, I got the pictures today I bought. I'm about to pull it up. He could go out here. This devil went up here and is waving and walking away with the podium. Like they mad at you for running up and getting a pair of Jordans. First of all, brothers, you shouldn't have been out there rioting and looting anyway. I understand, as blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, that we are upset and we mourn the untimely murder, unjust murders of our brothers and sisters, man. But if you want to come and do something about it, and be about that change, you must come into the Israelite School of UPK, because you ain't free white in 21. In Proverbs 3 and 31, I buy. You can't go out there and loot. But this devil right here can storm the Capitol building and wave. He can wave, I buy, and walk away with the podium. Like, that's all they need that. Like Broadway Joe Biden need that. How you gonna tell the lie? How you gonna tell his many lies, you know what I mean, to us blacks and Hispanics without that? He need that. And this devil walking away and he waving. And guess what? He went to work the next day. Right. And said, well, Jan, you know what I did yesterday? You're not free white in 21. Right. You can't do what these evil devils do, man. Right. It just goes to show you the gall of the oppressor. It just goes to show you, and they the same ones. And this is the thing that kills me, iPod. This is what gets me. These are the same devils that looked us in our face and said, well, all lives matter. What about the police? Blue lives matter. And they went out there and fought against each other. Right. We supposed to just let that happen. We supposed to let that happen. Don't worry about it. I hear you. But just know the next time one of us is unjustly murdered, the next time, you know what I mean, that one of our sisters are murdered in their bedroom while sleeping next to their husband, the next time one of our beautiful Mexican sisters, Vanessa Gillian, who was raped and mutilated by the oppressor and chopped up and buried. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. They came out and slandered our sisters, slandered our brothers George Floyd and Ramon Lopez, put all of their business out there and some of the wicked things they did in the world. But these devils, they try to give you sympathy and try to say, well, he's a police veteran. He's an Air Force veteran. It just goes to show you, we're not living in the same place. They don't give a damn about you. They care about their own. This is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. And guess what? We need to learn how to care about one another, man. We do. We need to learn how to love one another, because the oppressors love one another. They can go out there and kill each other and do whatever and still show love to each other. We can't do that. We have to just love each other. We have to cut the killing, the murder, and all the other nonsense out. Let the oppressors do that. That's why we can't envy what they have and what they do. Let me Proverbs 3 and 31.
Oh God, this is from Proverbs 3, verse 31. Mm-hmm. And thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou what?
Not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. Meaning, don't envy Bob. Don't envy Phil. Don't envy Tim. Do not envy those devils for this reason. First of all, well, you cannot live the way that they do. You see that right there? They can go out there and do that. You went out there in the midst all summer long. The National Guard was deployed for you. They didn't even want to call the National Guard for them. They let that happen. Which goes to show you that you don't have the same luxuries that they do. That's a white man's luxury right there. He can go and storm his own Capitol building. I know them Arabs is like, well, goddamn, I could have just walked through the door. They ain't have to fly a plane, do nothing. They could have just walked up in there. But nigga, you couldn't have did that. You savages on the reservation, you can't do that. You Spicks can't do that. And there's the thing, that's what they call, that's what they look at as that. When we are none of those things, man, we are greater than that. We are the lowest chosen people, man. The Israelites of antiquity, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. Envy thou not the oppressor. Don't envy what Tim got. Don't do that. Don't envy what that devil has. Don't envy what these devils do. Gang culture and rape and murder and being an anarchist and being a silly heathen. Let them do that. We can't do that. We can't live like them. That's why the scriptures say, envy thou not the oppressor. Read on.
And choose none of his ways.
And choose a little bit of his ways.
None of his ways.
And choose none of his ways, man. Choose none of the ways of the oppressor. We can't do what they do. You can't do that. They can go ahead and be evil monsters. Shalom, y'all. We can't do that. Choose none of their ways, man. It just goes to show you that we live in two different places. They can do that, but we can't. And look what we get for it. Look what we get for it. As a matter of fact, I got another article I wanted to go into. I'll put it up on the board, on the TV. Sister of black woman killed by U.S. Capitol Police angered by response to white rioters. Now, that sister, right? It was a sister that was driving, you know what I mean? She was having a mental breakdown. You know what I mean? With her kids in the car, and she was murdered by Capitol Police. And guess what? That's it. Her older sister is sitting there looking and saying, damn, my sister did not have to die. Because she's seeing what happened, you know what I mean, with these white rioters, with these white protesters, and she's like, dang, what did my sister have to die for? But she don't realize her sister was a nigga. She's black. They don't give a damn about your sister, man. A sister of black woman killed by U.S. Capitol Police angered by response to white rioters. Watching rioters storm the U.S. Capitol reopen old wounds for Valerie Carey. Carey's younger sister, Miriam Carey, was fatally shot by the Capitol Police and U.S. service officers moved in 7 years ago after leading officers on a high-speed chase near the White House. She wasn't even there. She wasn't even there. But it just goes to show you just how evil these devils is. She just got a little too close. She ain't get as far as close as they did. Y'all see how close they are? That's a siege right there. That's a raid. That's treason. That's treason right there. Let me put it up on the board for y'all to see, so y'all can understand that we are not the same, man, as these people. There you go, right there. Got it right up here on the board so y'all can see. Yeah. Sister of black woman killed by U.S. Capitol Police angered by response to white rioters. Now, she's upset that her sister was murdered, and she didn't have to be murdered. She didn't have to be. But she was murdered because she's black. She's a sister, that's all. Same thing with Breonna Taylor. And they sit up there and they like to say, I saw these silly devils, Oscar Watt, talk about what that one devil, Ashley Babbitt, that was killed by Capitol Police because they warned her times. Right. She was trying to climb through the window where the ballots were, that they were counting. And they were saying, we will shoot you, we will shoot you. She just kept going. And when she got shot, the shot on the devil's face. And you know what I have to say to that? I thought she should have complied.
Right.
She should have complied with the officer's command.
Right.
She should have. She had the privilege to. It's not like she was, I don't know, laying in her bed next to her husband. Go ahead, Oscar.
If I could, I was just thinking about the other day. I was like, I said something about sleeping in the car. I was like, you can't sleep in the car while you're black. I don't know if you remember. Brother sleep in the car.
Shaw Brooks.
He wake up, don't know what's going on. They start yelling and they just start shooting like, bro, you can't fall asleep in your car.
You can't. He was parked. I remember. Rashad Brooks was parked in a Wendy's parking lot. Realized he was too inebriated to drive, so we put him in our park. You know, chow down on some Wendy's and decided to sleep in your car. You can't sleep in your car.
Right.
And then they told him to get out. First of all, they told him, you know what I mean, to park the car somewhere else. Can't do that. Because now they can get you with DUI.
Right.
And then they started harassing the brother. They jumped on the brother. The brother whooped their ass while inebriated, while drunk, to show you how weak these cops is. Go ahead, Oscar.
If I could, it's another one where the brother never got out the car. They just shot the car.
Good.
They woke him up, and then they shot the car.
So they woke him up and just shot the car. Oscar, give me Lamentations 4:17. Because here's the problem with that. Here's the problem. This goes hand in hand with this poor sister right here. This sister right here. This sister, Valerie Carey, lost her sister, who was having a mental breakdown, who was going to do it. And she got a little too close to the Capitol building, got a little too close to the White House, and White House officials shot and murdered her. Just goes to show you, man, that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. In the article, it also says the seated disparity in the treatment of individuals who have no respect for our nation's capital, vandalizing, committing assaults, and get to walk away unharmed and not even arrested is hurtful. Of course, hurtful, sis. You know why it's hurtful, man? Because you believe that there is equality here in America. There ain't no equality here in this evil, wicked place. Like I hold Ezekiel 35:5. There is no equality here. Like I said, man, that's a white man's privilege. The oppressor can go and have a mental breakdown. Matter of fact, how could I forget? Bars all recovered. Oscar, was you with us on Saturday? You was there. Remember when we was out doing street talk?
Right.
And the devil was having, a mental breakdown. We out here on South Street doing street talk. Follow our page, UPK Street Talk. Devil was out there having a mental breakdown. He came across the street and said, "I'll kill you." I said, "You said, officer, this devil just threatened me." He said he would kill me. And the brother, who was a cop, said, "He's a 302, he's a mental, he ain't all there." I'm like, so? You know, if he looked like me or you would have shot him for that. The brother pulled his mask down and looked at me like, "Really, bro?" I'm like, "But you know that's the truth." He had no words. That's the type of sympathy they have for the oppressor. But if that had been a brother who did, they had no problem killing him. It just goes to show you, man, that we are treated different here. That you cannot expect to receive the same privileges as the oppressor. That's why the Lord told us that we are a special people, man. That's why Leviticus 20:26 says that I've severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. Now is the time to separate from these devils. But the problem is you put your stock in them and you don't realize, man, that they are out to get us. They're out to kill, to murder us, man. And you just don't see it. How many more George Floyds do we need to see? Many more Breonna Taylors, many more Miriam Carey's. We lost our sisters, man. We lost our brothers because the oppressor is an evil monster. Read what you got, Ashton.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
Our eyes have yet failed for what?
Our vain help.
Our eyes have failed for our vain help. Our eyes fail for your vain help because you think the oppressor can help. That's why you put Joe Biden in office. You think Broadway Joe is just magically going to make things better for blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, and he's not. Joe don't give a damn about us. How could you forget about the evil atrocities that he's done?
Right.
Evil things. Joe Biden said, you know what I mean? He doesn't want his children going to the school in those jungles, man. Equated our children to being animals and cockroaches, whose name has been on every minor and major crime bill since 1972, since he became a politician. His record speaks for itself. And don't get me started on that chocolate-covered Edomite, that devil Kamala Harris, who's not a black woman, who's a white woman, man. The number is 1 in 18 says that you are the seed of your father, man. And Kamala Harris is not black. She's a white woman. She's a devil. And she's an evil, wicked bastard too. Our eyes have failed for our vain help. That sister thought she was going to get the help that she needed. She was having a mental breakdown. Where was the support for that sister right here? Where was the support for her? Where was it? She was murdered in front of her children. But meanwhile, these devils could come and chill, blow up, light fires, light their guns off, go up against the same blue lives that they claim matter. They can do that. But if you a sister having a mental breakdown with your kids, you can't do that. If you a brother just standing, sitting in your car, you can't do that without your car getting shot up. Read it again.
As for us, our eyes as yet fail from our vain help.
Our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. Guess what? You know what that means? That means that your eye is looking for a help that's vain, that's nothing. These people are not going to help you. Let me give you a little help. Your oppressor wakes up each and every day thinking of new ways to kill you. He does. He wakes up thinking of new ways to get rid of you. He's like, you know what? Maybe today I'm just going to wake up and go to a brother while he's sleeping in his car and just light the car up. You know what? I'm gonna storm that brother's house and murder his wife in cold blood. You know what? What's that she-devil? The Amber guy. She said, you know what? That nigga playing his music too loud. Let me just go up to his room and murder him in cold blood. And then in court, have her hair played with and being consoled by a black CO. And then, after the aftermath of her sentencing, have Botham Shem Jones, a Levite brother from the tribe of Loyal, Levi, have his own mother and brother console that devil by hugging her. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and the mark of the beast is Christianity.
Right.
This goes to show you what we dealing with here. Go ahead, Oscar.
If I could, I was explaining it to my little brother. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him, I was like, I said, us having a white guy is like a chicken looking at people as God, or any animal just looking at you like God. It's like you're just gonna walk into it until you get killed. And that's been the problem with the Christian churches, that they walked us into it. Martin Luther King walked us into it. Like, oh yeah, go ahead try to love white people. Like,
give me Jeremiah 23. Hold that. Go ahead, Oscar.
We should have stayed separate, because then we would have knew. Like even now, like you remember we going out in the streets, they told us go get jobs and everything. Why you talking about white people? We trying to help y'all out. It might be your subjects. It might be you. It might be one of us. Somebody got to say something about white people murdering every goddamn. Like you see what it takes to get a white person shot by a cop. Mm-hmm. You had to be breaking into a government building. You let them so deep in the building.
Right.
They wouldn't let you in the back. They let you all in the front. You run around. Right. You in offices. You got mailings, and that's cool. You get to the back, one person gets shot.
And you know what's crazy about that? The sister Miriam Carey, she was she was murdered blocks away. Right. She was murdered blocks away, and what you brought up was so heavy. General 12-Show General Hyman said this, and it just resonated. He said this weeks ago. And he's been saying, what do you have to do to put a white man behind bars? Apparently, you can cross off storming the Capitol building. You can do that. Right. You can storm the Capitol building, have a bonfire, you know what I mean, and mace. And we also gonna go into the devil that got crushed by that. Go ahead, Oscar.
If I could, one more thing. What you saying is so heavy. Because I remember seeing the most perplexing story pop up on my phone one day. Mm-hmm. An Edomite in New Jersey, he a teenager over there, raped somebody. Like gave him something and then raped a girl. I think it was a little white girl.
Good enough.
Recorded him doing it. Sent it to his friends and titled it, "When Your First Time Having Sex is Rape." When he went to court, the judge was like, "Oh, well, I don't think we should lock him up." Will Bill Cosby get in trouble for something that happened 20 years ago? Mm-hmm. Or not 20, way longer than that, right? Way longer than that. They wouldn't lock that devil up for that. They would lock R. Kelly up You know what I'm saying? They like everybody the hell up. He raped somebody, said he was raping somebody, sent the video to his friends, and just like, he ain't just a kid. I don't think we should lock him up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she's passed out. She might have been drunk. That might have been what it was.
Good enough. We about to walk hand. What he brought out was heavy. Because here's the thing. It just the further the point, you're not free white at 21. He raped the girl. Sent the video to his homies. And just for the judge to throw it out and be like, nah, you got a bright future. I'm not going to do that to you. You see, this is where we live. This is where we live. How many brothers are in jail right now for petty theft?
Right.
Walking around with a grand. And now they selling it in dispensaries. You got to understand, man, that we live in two different places. We are still in the land of our captivity. Our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. Cosby is in jail now, and so is R. Kelly. Do not get me wrong. First of all, Bill, you shouldn't have been messing with them white girls, period.
Right.
Period. Leave them devils alone. Leave Karen, Becky, Susie, all of them alone, man. You shouldn't. Same thing with R. Kelly, man. Messing with them young girls. You're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
We ain't GMS up in here.
Right.
Gotta understand that. And what you're so sad about it, when the oppressor do these things, he ain't held accountable for it. Before you get Ezekiel 35:5, hold Zechariah verse 11 and verse 5. What we got to understand is our eyes have failed for our vain help. Meaning you looking towards this nation to help you, to save you. That sister was looking for assistance. She was going through it. She's having a mental breakdown. But she's a nigga driving a couple blocks away from the White House and the Capitol building. That warrants her to be murdered in front of her children. We don't like Ashtawa?
So like I'm on the same scripture?
Yeah. Lamentations 4:17.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And have watched for a nation that could not save us, meaning the oppressor cannot save you. He cannot. Bill, Bob, Fred, Tim cannot save you. You can't do it. Meaning stop putting your trust in these devils, man. He ain't gonna save you. The oppressor is looking for new ways to get rid of you. Read on.
Verse 18, they hunt our steps.
They what?
They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps. They hunted our sister's steps, man. They hunted her steps. Look at Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery was just jogging, but jogging in the wrong neighborhood. Jogging in the wrong neighborhood. And them devils murdered him. And guess what? We read a story just the other day at Black Watch, 2 Black Watches ago, 2 Mondays ago, that the devils that murdered him, you can't even call Ahmaud Arbery the victim in court. You know that? They're not even gonna let you call him the victim in court. Just goes to show you, man, that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You want to get true justice. Justice has to come from the Most High. And we also going to go into what Esau has coming to him. Read on, Ashtawa.
That we cannot go in our streets.
That we cannot go in our streets. We can't go in our streets. Read on.
Our end is near.
Our end is near. Read on.
Our days are fulfilled.
Our days are fulfilled. Our days are fulfilled, meaning it's over. The sorrow we say we gonna do right now, you think after the murder of our brothers and our sisters, George Floyd, Ramon Lopez, Vanessa Gillian, Rashad Brooks, Breonna Taylor, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And you going out here to riot, loot, and protest. Most of them was peaceful. You go up to the Capitol building, you got Brooklyn 99, you got LAPD SWAT, you got the National Guard, you got the Air Force, you got the Space Force, you got the Avengers, you have the Decepticons, and you have the Autobots out there for your black ass. Meanwhile, the oppressor go out there, he chill. Which goes into something about our oppressor. Read on.
For our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven.
Our persecutors are what?
Swifter than the eagles of heaven.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. Keep that in mind. The oppressor is our persecutor. They persecute us each and every day. How do you know that they persecute us each and every day? Look what they do to us. Ashtawa brought up a story about that brother, man, that got murdered in his car. They lit his car up. We just went over the sister, man, in D.C. that was murdered several years ago. And guess what? And I also brought up, Amber Geiger, that devil that murdered our brother Botham Shin Jones. And I was watching something that was heavy. He brought up a devil that raped another devil, and he wasn't held accountable for it. But guess what? Ahmaud Arbery is not being called a victim in his court case, and he's dead. Breonna Taylor, they didn't even charge the devils for murdering her. They charged them for the bullets that missed, which goes to show you something about the oppressor. I read what you have.
How God, this is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Whose possessors slay them.
Whose possessors slay them? Our possessors slay us. They do. Vanessa Gillian was just the Mexican sister of the tribe of Issachar. She's trying to help her family. She's trying to make a couple dollars. She thought going into the military, would further her. Just for her to be raped, to be mutilated, chopped up, and buried, and for her mother and her sister to cry for weeks. And then for them to say that your daughter was murdered and raped and cut up and mutilated by the oppressor, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven, man. The oppressor is like the eagle, and the eagle is the top fowl of the sky. The Lord is likening him unto an eagle. Where it says, read it again, Ibad.
Whose possessors slay them.
They slay them. They slay us each and every day. And we know.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And hold themselves what?
Not guilty.
Vanessa Gillian's murderers hold themselves what?
Not guilty.
George Floyd murderers hold themselves what?
Not guilty.
Botham Shin Jones, Breonna Taylor, Mike Brown, Philando Castillo, Sandra Bland, their murderers are what?
Hold themselves not guilty.
They hold themselves not guilty for what they do to the Lord's chosen people. That's our eyes failing for vain help. You think going out there to protest is going to help things, but you go backwards when you do that. You've been protesting and marching since what? The 60s, the 50s, the 40s? And what has that done? What have we gotten from that? Nothing. We've gotten nothing from that. We've benefited nothing from it. And our persecutors hold themselves, what I thought? Our possessors hold themselves what?
Not guilty.
They hold themselves not guilty. Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, what you just was bringing out, like the way you said it, it just hit me like Martin Luther King was posing like he was like some type of religious leader, like a Christian man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything he got from Gandhi and out of the Bible, and it's like, had we kept the Bible, even though white people was racist, we'd have been way better off than now because he had both his parents in his house. You understand what I'm saying? Like that situation of us starting to love them, start losing businesses, then they put drugs in our neighborhood, and it's just like from there on, it just went downhill from there to where it's like, now we gotta go protest just like we did then. Like we was doing before then. Like, why are we still doing the same thing? And we separated like the Lord told us to, and kept the commandments towards each other like He told us to. We wouldn't have started selling drugs. Our women wouldn't have became
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have nowhere to work, so what? We gonna work together. We gonna work it out over here,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
We would. And what you bring out is so heavy. Barzo, you hold Jeremiah 23:1. Now, I want you to read that in 1 second. That's why I was bringing up. It's so heavy. We got to understand. Martin Luther King did us such a disservice. Not just him. Everybody that was involved with him. Messi, Jesse Jackson, 007 triple agent, FBI informant, Al Sharpton. All of them have set us back. These men that you revere, that you love, and where are the rest of your ministers? Where are the rest of your pastors when we are unjustly murdered, man, by the oppressor? They know where to be found because they have their head up their white daddy's ass. Salakia for the language. Matter of fact, Barzal, can you get that scripture for me? Up.
This is the book of Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1. 26.
23 and verse 1, you right.
It's like 23 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe be unto the pastors.
Woe be unto the pastors, meaning destruction be unto your pastors. You want to know why destruction is coming to your pastors? You want to know why destruction came to, the Martin Luther King, that dreamer of dreams? Because they were evil, and they are evil, wicked bastards. They are. Every last one of them. From Geno Jennings with the bald head, Creflo Dollar, T.D. Snake Slocket, T.D. Jakes, all of them. Destruction be unto your pastors, man. Read on.
Oh God. That destroyed and scattered the sheep of my pasture.
That destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. We are the sheep of the Most High's pasture. We are. And they scatter us. They do. They haven't visited us. They tell you that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle. They tell you, sister, it's all right to murder your baby, to abort your baby, choose your career. They tell you that it's all right to love the oppressor, man, because they love the oppressor. It just goes to show you, man, that your pastor is part of the problem. One of the worst things that ever could have happened to our people was integration. Segregation, we was all right. And I want you to understand something in segregation. When we were segregated, we was all right as Black Hispanics and First Nation men and women. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, are you aware that it wasn't just us, the Gadites was with us. Our communities was booming. We was chilling. Judah and Gad, we was down there chilling, minding our own business. But the oppressor going to do what? World War II? Or World War I, going through a world war. His economy is collapsing. What does he do? Because we're not serving the Most High in Christ, they was able to come down there and bomb Black Wall Street. They was able to destroy our cities, man. When we was all right by ourselves, when they wasn't bothering us, we was chilling. And they couldn't understand it, which goes to show you that we're different from them. These people had a 400-year head start. You mean to tell me after so-called, 1865, Ashtabah? You mean to tell me from 1865 after the change, the physical change came up into the early 1900s, but ain't that long. We have cities, communities, hospitals, schools, and we're doing better than they are? How can that be? Because we're that special people that are above all people. We are above them. The Lord told us to be separate. He severed us from them. And now he somehow convinced you that we needed to integrate with him? For what? What has integration gotten us? Oh, my bad. A knee on the neck? Go ahead, Oscar.
Good. That's how you know Martin Luther King didn't know the Bible, because in Egypt, they was like, look, tell them you sheep herders, and we'll go stay in the land of Goshen.
Give him a hand.
You don't want to be Egyptians.
Joseph told us, when you go to Egypt, when you come here, go to Pharaoh and tell that nasty Hamite that we like to deal with animals and sheep, and he gonna give us Goshen. We're gonna have our own thing. And guess what happened after that? Guess what happened? Salakia. Now we gotta go to it. Give me Exodus. Give me Exodus 1, and I want to say verse 8. Give me Exodus 1 and verse 8. Because we did that. We went up and we separated from them. We did that. And guess what happened when we were left by ourselves? When we was left by ourselves, chilling, not being bothered by nobody, you know what I mean? Because, them nasty Hamites, man, they ain't like dealing with animals. They thought, it was beneath them. You know what I mean? That they thought they were just too fly for that with the gold or whatever. I know y'all niggas love Kemet, but guess what? Kemet was filled of homosexual lust-filled, stinking giraffe water smelling Africans, rhinoceros residue, rubbing rhinoceros feces in their woman's vaginal areas, mutilating their private parts. Ain't nothing great about Kemet and nothing great about Africa. Joseph told us, man, to separate from them. Go up to Pharaoh and say, that we sheep herders, that we deal with the animals. And they gave us Goshen and we were separate. Now, give me Exodus 1 and verse 8. Let's see what happened after that. Y'all want to ask me?
Don't come. Mm-hmm. Book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 8. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
Now a new king rose up. Now we in Goshen, we chilling. We in our own little separate part of Egypt, segregated from the nasty Africans. Separated from them. Which I don't understand. I'm going to go into this Thursday, Lord willing. about how Kemet was the first metropolis homosexual city. Kemet had the first LGBTQP. The P is for pedophilia, by the way, it's coming. They had the first rainbow coalition of homosexuals. Some Africans did that. And we was like, nah, we got to separate from them. We can't have that. We can't have that. Go up to Pharaoh and say that, you know what I mean, that we sheep herders, that we deal with the animals, and they gave us Goshen, and we were separate, and we were growing as a people. And let's see what the Africans thought of that. Let's see if they wanted to have peace and unity with you. Read on us what?
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
What is this? What is this? He said, hold up. These niggas are more and mightier than we. They down there separated. There's blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. They separate. And they are more and mightier than we. The Egyptians ain't seeking, hey man, let's have peace. You know what I mean? With our heat. You know I do impressions. They're not saying let's have peace with these Hebrews, with these children of Yasha Allah. They're not trying to do that. They're like, look at these niggas. These niggas are growing in numbers every day. We cannot have that. We cannot have that. No, we should have never gave them the land of Goshen. Who gave them Goshen? Can't do that. Read on.
Come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
Let us deal what?
Wisely with them.
Let us deal wisely with them. Now they say, hold on. Now we got to deal with them. We got to deal wisely with them. They separate. They growing into their own. We can't have that. You know what deal wisely with them mean? Now they trying to deal with you. Now they got to figure out how they going to beat you. Because they know we more and mightier. They know they can't see us. You see it each and every day. What are them Hamites good at? Soccer? Take your best Hamitic soccer player, and I guarantee you I could find a brother from Brazil, of Asher. I can find a brother of Issachar. I can find a brother of Naphtali that'll smoke his ass. Salaki, that'll smoke him. Can't do nothing with us. And then you can forget about, you know what I mean, you can forget about, you know what I mean, symmetrics and technology. Abraham is the one that taught them arithmetic and taught them astrology and gave them the knowledge that they had. A black man gave them that. Ain't nothing special about them Hamites. They wasn't seeking to have unity and peace with our people. They said, come and let us deal wisely with them. And they also went here because these Hamites did something. They did something that is so evil that is still being done today by the oppressor. We're going to read what that is. Read on.
Lest they multiply.
Lest they what?
Multiply.
Lest they multiply. Meaning, lest they continue to have babies. Let us come deal wisely with them. That these niggas is having children. They growing each and every day. You know we having them kids. You know we having them babies. Every time I turn around, Barzal got a new baby. Right. For real. Every time I turn around, he got a new boy. Same thing with Mariah. Israel is having these kids. Big shout out to Priest and Officer Power and Zar Wild. I'm like, well, goddamn, Israel having these kids. They having these babies. But they said, let us come deal wisely with them. Read on.
Lest they multiply.
Mm-hmm.
And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought that we was living peaceful with these Africans. I thought that they was chilling with us and everything was all peachy. That we were brothers. You know how they look at you, brother, my brother. You ain't my brother. You need to realize, black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man, and woman. We in captivity here in America, but Africans put us in captivity first.
Right.
These Egyptians, Mizraim in the Hebrew, they put us in captivity first. And they said, let us come deal wisely with them. Because if they're all about a war, which goes to show you that God ain't all peace, love, and unity. The Most High is a man of war. The Egyptians is like, hold up, if we go to war and Israel join on to our enemies, then we in trouble. We don't.
And fight against us.
Mm-hmm.
And so get them up out of the land.
So get them up out of the land. He said, we got to get them up out of here. Read on.
Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters.
Set over them taskmasters. Why brought all bring out in Jeremiah 23 verse 1. Your wicked pastors today, they're the same taskmasters of Egypt. Gave them a little bit of money. Go ahead, Oscar.
Salaki, sir, if I could. Like, this has been heavy on my mind. I keep bringing this Goshen situation up.
Because this is like basically what happened. Like when we was by ourselves, it was like our two biggest enemies is the hippies and the black people. So we need to go ahead and or the anti-war people and the black people. So if they had to break us down, and it's like when we was in that land, just like in the land of Goshen, we was doing well. We was fine. We was in another person's kingdom, and that's what our people don't understand. We could be in another person's kingdom
and be fine
and still prosper. You know what I'm saying? But it said he set up taskmasters over them, and then what happened? You break everything we got down, and then now we work for you. We don't work for ourselves no more.
He said, hold up. Go ahead, Joshua.
I gotta go get a job from somebody who, you know what I'm saying, don't like the way my hair look on my head or on my face. You know what I'm saying? The sister gotta straighten her hair out before she go, you know what I'm saying, and put them funny clothes on and go up there and get an interview with some white people. When we could hire each other, we would have been in our own place. Now we gotta go to our master, somebody to rule over us, and then ask them for a job so they can give us some money. But we was looking out for each other. It's a lot.
Right, what you bring out is so heavy, is that we looked out for each other, as you said. More importantly, this is the brotherhood class. We had brotherhood. We was dealing beautifully with each other, man. The scriptures say, you know what I mean, that man used to be tender and delicate, you know what I mean, between us, man. That brother and that sister, man, we used to look at each other with love and affection, man. We was chilling in Goshen, in captivity. We ain't in captivity yet. This is the beginning of it. We're in another kingdom. We're not in our land due to famine. We're in another kingdom, separate, not intermingling, not doing what them Africans doing. We watching them build Haru. We watching them build, you know what I mean, worshiping their gods, chilling, doing what they doing. They said, man, that stuff is nonsense. We're going to serve the Most High in your house. We're going to be separate. We in Goshen. We dealing with the animals. We growing and we multiplying. And them Africans looking at us like this. Look at them niggas right there. You see them? You see this? Raise up the taskmaster. Raise up TD Jakes. Raise up Creflo. What's the nigga that love the money? Raise up Creflo Dollar. Raise him up. Make them a taskmaster over them. Meaning this. Creflo was a taskmaster. Martin Luther King was a taskmaster. He was. A puppet of the oppressor. And not everybody was down with that. These wicked Negroes that you look to as your leadership, they were the same taskmasters in Egypt. Uncle Tom Negroes that sold us out for what? So they could have their face up the oppressors behind. That's why Christ said, you are your father, the devil, the lust of your fathers you would do. And he was a murderer from the beginning and a liar and the father of the lie. Read on.
Set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
To afflict them with their burdens. Let me tell you something. Y'all silly Negroes, man. Y'all love chemical. Y'all love pyramids. I bring this up all the time, actually. Every time I look at a pyramid, my back hurts. Because I know that. We look at each other like, oh, that's just so wonderful. It's a wonder of the world. It's majestic. It's like, nigga, we built that. And we had a stinking, filthy, smelling African whipping us across the back while we built that. We built it so good, we forgot how to do it. Good. So we never have to do that nonsense again. And it goes to show you that Hispanics are Israelites because that's what they did. They did the same thing when they came over here to the so-called New World. That's why you have pyramids in Mexico and South America and in Chile and in Central America and El Salvador. They're the same ones that built them. Read on.
And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities,
Mm-hmm.
Hittim and Ramesses.
Mm-hmm. Built for them treasure cities. They like, we're gonna make them niggas work for us. They down there chewing, multiplying. We're gonna make them work. That's the problem. They have too much time on their hand to have these babies. We're going to afflict them in their burdens. Read on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
And they was perplexed by that. They said, hold on, we made these niggas work hard, and these niggas are still having kids? They're like, God damn, Iron Spirit is working 10 jobs, and he got 10 more kids. How the hell did that happen?
Right.
So the Africans decided to do something. They did something that our oppressor does to this very day, because America is no different than Rome. America is no different than Babylon and Egypt. This is where they got it from. These Africans came up with an idea and enacted on this idea. that the oppressor still does. Something that Kamala Harris stands on and something that Broadway Joe Biden stands on. Read on, Oscar.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They were grieved. What are we going to do about these niggas? These niggas are growing too powerful. Black Panther, do something. Read on.
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Made them serve with rigor, meaning now we get into the hard bondage. Now we get into that servitude. Read on.
And they made their lives bitter with hard work.
Hard work. Hard work.
With hard bondage.
Hard bondage. Hard bondage, man. Slavery. Read on.
In mortar and in brick.
In mortar and with brick. You know what you did with the mortar and them bricks? You built treasure cities for Pharaoh. You built pyramids. You built a space with that Hamite face on it. Read on.
And in all manner of service in the field.
Mm-hmm.
All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
With rigor. Made us serve with rigor. But then this is where they had their brilliant idea. Read on. Go ahead, Oscar.
I could say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Like me just seeing like that spirit of like, let me find something for y'all niggas to do. And then me looking at the Sphinx, like, look, I want you to draw me with a tiger head on me. Put my face on a tiger body. And then make this and make it like, you just got us making stupid shit. Like, what are we doing this for? You don't live in it. It's a lot.
Oscar, wow. But you bring it out, it's so heavy. You know, big shout out to New York. You know what I mean? The captain of 13,000 Cesario.
Right.
And it just hit me like a lightning bolt. Them Africans looked at us and said, I want you to build me a statue with my face on one end and with another African's face on the other. And I want you to draw our rods going to hit each other's faces. And I could just see us like looking at these nasty Africans like, yo. Like you said, you just finding shit for us to do at this point. You're just finding stuff for us to do. And that's what perplexes me on how you can be enamored and in love with Egypt and Kemetic culture, because these are the ones that put us in captivity first. America ain't no different. This right here ain't no different than Egypt. I behold Isaiah 19 and verse 2. We're going to that next. Read on, Ashtabah.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives.
Now they speaking to the midwives. I wonder what they speaking to the midwives about. Read on.
Of which the name of one was Supharah, and the other Puah. And he said, what ye do the office, so like when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women.
Now they say when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, now when you helping the sisters deliver these babies, because they having these babies at an astronomical rate, read on.
And see them upon the stool, if it be a son.
If it be a what?
A son.
If it be a son, I want you to pay close attention. These Africans came to the midwives and said, listen, if it be a son, do this. Read on.
Then ye shall kill him.
And you shall what?
Kill him.
Then ye shall kill him. What is that right there? If it be a son. That's birth control right there. That's an abortion. If it be a son, kill him. The Egyptians started abortion, man.
Right.
They started that as a means of population control for our people, man. Read on.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
And if it be a daughter, then she shall live. You want to know why? Because the man carries the seed, man.
That's right.
You are of the seed of your father. Your father determines who you are, your nationality. And that's in Numbers 1 and 18. Paraphrasing Numbers 1 and 18, when they assembled in the congregation together, you know, they declared their pedigrees and their families by the house of their fathers. So you are who your dad is. That disqualifies Kamala Harris because her great-grandfather on her father's side is a white man, which makes her a white woman. The same way that makes Bob Marley a white man. The same way that makes that devil Tracy Ellis Ross a white woman. Man. They come from the seed of Esau, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now, this is what the Egyptians did. The Egyptians did this to us. And America does the same thing. But here's the thing. Egypt is a dust bowl today.
Right.
We getting ready to celebrate the Lord's Passover with the death angel passed over us. The death angel passed over us, and the Lord killed the firstborn of all them stinking Africans, man. And we're going to be celebrating the Passover down in Houston, Texas, man. Can't do it in New York because the oppressor has his neck being crushed by the Most High. You put your neck on our brother George Floyd and your knee on our brother George Floyd and Ramon Lopez's neck. Well, now the Lord has his knee on your neck with the coronavirus, that COVID-19. Now, guess what? Here's another thing. Give me Isaiah 19 verse 2, Bo, for sure.
Oh God. This is book of Isaiah, 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Now, the Egyptians are going against each other. Now, the oppressor is going against one another. Now, Egyptians, like I said, Egypt is in a Greek word which means Egypto, which means bondage, man. Now, we got to understand. Now, these heathens are going up against one another. I bring this out for a reason because there's a story I want to go into. Another one, I showed this earlier in my earlier class today, but I want to show it again because I loved every minute of it. Salakia. Read on, Ibad.
Oh God. And they shall fight everyone against his brother.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother. Guess what? Those devils fought one another. That was their brother. America is against itself right now. The kingdom is divided against itself. Now, I'm about to show you a video of a police officer crushed in doorway by rioters during the Capitol breach. I brought this up for this reason. Because now the Egyptians are going against each other. Now they shall fight against everyone his brother and everyone against his neighbor. Now I brought this up because the All Lives Matter and the Blue Lives Matter are going against each other. During the siege of the Capitol building where those devils committed treason, they turned against those very same blue lives that they say matter. The All Lives Matter people did that. They did that. But this is what they doing, thus saith the Lord, man. Brought it out in Isaiah 19 verse 2. We're going to read it again. But now, I want to show you something. Because this is glorious in the sight of the Most High. Now, we'll start from the beginning. Now look at these thugs right here. Look at these monsters going against each other. Crushing their own, brother against brother. Oh, his rib is just crushed. Crushed. See the blood coming from his mouth? They fucking with his helmet, Salaga. They messing with his helmet now. And they got mace. You see the Confederate flag they got? Spraying mace at each other. That's not going at each other right there. Yanking that devil by his face guard and everything. Crushing them within the door. Why they got their Trump 2020 flags? Why they got their Confederate flags? Heaving and hoeing. Look what they doing. Oh, yeah, look at that. And all the nigga cops, all the black cops, they over there like, man, why did I come to work today? Right. Why did I come to work today, man? Which just goes to show you. Read that again from the top, I bought.
God, this book of Isaiah, 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. The Lord sent the oppressor against himself. Read on.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother.
They shall fight everyone against his brother. They fighting each other right now. They rumbling each other. Blue Lives Matter is going up against All Lives Matter. Read on.
I will come. And everyone against his neighbor.
And everyone against his neighbor. Meaning they going against each other right now. They going against their neighbor. But why they going against their neighbor? Why them devils is going against each other? How about we build Christ's kingdom? Can we do that? Can we build our King's kingdom? Yahweh Shah kingdom. Can we do that while these devils kill each other? Go ahead, Ashtawa.
If I could, it's a lot. I keep interrupting.
Are you good?
It's a lot.
Keep going. You good?
I remember during my high school explaining about Rome, how they had the two-party system there. And like they go to show you that they're not with the Lord. But I'm gonna say about the two-party system is they always end up fighting each other in the two-party system. But in the Lord's kingdom, they say we supposed to be one body. So it's not supposed to be all that fighting. Like the Lord not the other confusion, so He's not gonna raise us up to fight each other. But he gonna let them fight each other in their democracy. Like that's not even gonna work for black people. If we want to be Democrats and Republicans, we can't raise up like that. We gotta be on one united front for what we gonna do to life.
But you bring that is so heavy, and I'm glad you said that. I brought this out earlier in the Chester Trenton class. That's Rome. Rome falling. That's Rome. Chaos everywhere, the destruction all behind the buildings and everything. Interesting, right? That ain't no different than what's happening right here in America. We go back to the other image. Let y'all see it. That's Rome. And this is America. Scripture say everything aforetime was written for our learning. We have to understand that there is no new thing under the sun. As a matter of fact, get me Isaiah. Give me Isaiah 47 and verse 10. Give me Isaiah 47 and verse 10, Bubba Shaw.
Okay.
When you bring that out throughout this heavy, is that the same thing happened in Rome? It's the same thing that's going on here in America. It's the same thing. And the oppressor is a prideful bastard, man. He is an evil, wicked bastard. And he has something coming to him. We're going to go into that. Read what you got about.
Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness.
They have trusted in their own wickedness. They have. They have trusted in their own wickedness. Which goes to show you, man, this is why it's time to separate from them. That the oppressor can be an evil, wicked bastard, but we can't. They trusted in their own wickedness. Read on.
Thou hast said, none seeth me.
Now it said, none seeth me. They say, man, nobody can see thee. America, they say, what do they say is the greatest country on the earth? Got the greatest military power ever seen. They struggling to give us, you know what I mean, 2 stacks to give us, you know what I mean. I'm waiting on that 1,400 Ashtawa. They struggling to give you 1,400, but they build fighter jets each and every day. You know what I mean? Like it's not going out of style. Read on.
Okay. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee.
Their wisdom and their knowledge has perverted them. They think they know everything. How do you know? Donald Trump said out of his own mouth, I bring it up all the time. He said, we're fighting against the invisible enemy. We're stronger and we're smarter and we're learning more about him each and every day. He said that. And now look, their kingdom is divided against each other. He trusted in his own wickedness. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it perverted thee. America thinks they're untouchable. That's why they have the Space Force. That's why they have the Air Force and all these different sectors of the military. Because they're going to try to fight our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach when he returns for 200 million angels and lay waste to this earth, man. Read on.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
He said, I am, and none else beside me. They saying, I am. There's none else beside me. It's like the scriptures say, he exalts himself. We're going to go to that too. We're going to go to that. We're going to go, I quote Isaiah the 14th chapter. We're going to go to that. Because here's the thing, the oppressor has said, you know what I mean? He speaks great words against the Most High. He has. He exalted his throne above, you know what I mean, the skies. He's trying to make himself like the Most High. We don't go into that. The oppressor is an evil bastard, but he has something coming to him. Read on that about.
Verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee.
Therefore, read it again.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Lord got something for the oppressor. Evil is coming to you. Punishment is coming to you, oppressor. I pray you understand. Read on.
Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth.
Thou should not know whence it riseth. You ain't gonna know when it's coming, but it's gonna happen. You ain't gonna know when it's gonna happen, but it will happen. Read on.
And mischief shall fall upon thee.
Mischief shall fall upon thee. Now you see the mischief falling upon him. He's divided against himself. Christ said, you know what I mean? Satan can't cast out Satan. And a house divided against itself shall not stand. Because every other kingdom divided against itself fell to desolation. Babylon, Rome, America. Hell, Russia fell the same way with that Tsar, Nikolai. That's how the Lord's gonna get the oppressor. He think he big and bad, but the Lord said, I got some mischief for you. You ain't gonna know when it's coming. Read on.
Thou shalt not be able to put it off.
Thou shalt not be able to put it off. You're not gonna be able to put this off, oppressor. You're not gonna be able to put this off of you. Read on.
And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
And desolation shall come upon you suddenly. You're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be destitute. You're gonna be poof. Forget about it. Read on. You was already a vagabond. You about to really be a vagabond now. Read on.
Which thou shalt not know.
Which thou shalt not know. You have no idea what's coming to you. And this is what's coming to the oppressor. And this is what we have to understand as the Lord's chosen people, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. I understand the times that we live in. I understand that it's hard out here, that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, that he got you going to your elevator plantation, and he got you out here, you know what I mean, struggling just to survive. But just know, we have to do what the Lord says to do. We have to do what our King says to do. We have to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Love thy brother as thyself, man, and love the Most High with all thy strength and all thy soul. Because guess what? The Lord said this. Read Isaiah 14 and verse 1 out the world.
Good. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
The Lord shall have mercy on Jacob, meaning the Lord is going to have mercy on Yasha Allah, Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women. The Lord is going to have mercy on us. You know,
and will yet choose Israel.
And will yet choose Israel. The Lord is going to choose you, Black man, Hispanic man, First Nation man and woman. The Lord is going to choose us. He ain't going to choose the oppressor. He ain't going to choose them in their wickedness, man. He ain't going to choose the Arabs, the Chinese, the Filipinos, and all these different heathens, man. You know.
And set them in their own land.
And set them in their own land. We're going to be set in our own land. We're going to be back in Zion, back in Jerusalem. Back where we belong. You know how far away we are from home, man? This is not the land of our home, man. We are still in the land of our captivity. You know. You know.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers shall be joined with thee. I know some of y'all read that and you get excited and say, well, you see, you're dying. The stranger gonna be joined with me. Tim gonna be with me. McDaniel's coming with me, Yediah. Susie and Sarah, they get to come with us. Alexander, they get to stay with us. They're going to be joined with us. Let's read on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob, man. Meaning they're going to cleave unto us, but they know we are going to be their ruling party.
Right.
We are going to be their lords, their black lords. Read on.
And the people shall take them.
And the people shall take them. We're going to take them. I pray you understand. We're going to take them. Read on.
And bring them to their place.
And bring them to their place. Meaning bring them to their place. Meaning they're going to be put in captivity. Now I know you're like, there ain't no way that could be your diet. God loves everybody. He said it will cleave unto us. Read on.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
The house of Israel shall what?
Possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Get them outside here. we are going to possess them for servants and for handmaids. Captain Meshach told one of the most hardcore stories ever that I tell all the time too, because I said, I'm gonna copy that, I'm doing that. He said, I long for the day, and I do too. I'm gonna ride one of them big mountain horses, man. Like the mountain horses with the hooves that's big like that. I'm gonna be thundering on a black stallion mountain horse. And I'm going to the first white man plantation. And I'm gonna see the first white woman with her baby in the barn. And I'm snatching that baby. And when the white man runs up to me, when McDaniel runs up to me, Lord willing, he gonna be like, please, nigga, please call me nigga. I need you to call me El Jefe Negro, La Negro, Master Nigga. Call me that. I don't need that. You don't got to sir and I don't want, just call me Master Negro, Master Nigga. Say that to me. Please, he's just a baby. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to see him again one day. And then I'm going to ride off with that child. And then I'm going to come back every so often as the child grows. I'm going to put him on the ground. He's going to be playing around, running around. That child's going to love me. And the mother is going to be sitting there looking. And one day she's going to have the courage to walk up to me and say, sir, Master Nigga, is that my baby? And I'm going to look down and say, McDaniel, look at her. Ted McGillicuddy, look at her. Phil, look at her. Tim, I'm going to name him Tim. Man, look at her. Look at that woman. She going to look at him. He going to look at her. And then I'm going to snatch the child up and ride off in the sunset. And when I ride off Oshkosh, it's going to be like I want like the lightning in the back. I want it to be a day where a lightning storm is getting ready to come. And when the hooves got up like that, and I'm going to be riding like this, leaning, I'm going to have a child like this, and then I'm going to ride off. And then I'm going to do the same thing next week. Because I want your women to suffer the same postpartum depression that our mothers had to suffer when we were taken from our parents during slavery. Like Captain Meshach said, I'm gonna repeat it again. You sold our babies, I'm putting yours on eBay, Etsy, I'm putting them on Amazon. The Down syndrome ones are going on Wish. Of course, these sites are gonna be operated by us. I'm selling your babies. I'm telling you, I'm going to take that child and I'm going to ship that child to Ibada Hayah, and that child is going to go through hell each and every day of his life, for real. I can't imagine what Barzal and Oscar Watt going to do, because these are the things that they have done to us. That's why the Lord is saying that we shall bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Read on.
And they shall take them captives.
And they shall take them captives. We're going to take them captives. The same way they took us. Read on.
Whose captives they were.
Whose captives they were. Because we're their captives right now. We are. Read on.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. We shall rule over our oppressors, man. Keep reading.
Will come. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
That hard bondage was thou made to serve, because we in hard bondage still. Read on.
That thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon.
Oh man, we got to take up a proverb against the king of Babylon. Read on.
And say, how hath the oppressor ceased?
How hath the what?
Oppressor ceased.
How hath the oppressor ceased? Meaning, how hath the oppressor been put to an end? How is it stopped? Read on.
And so like the golden city ceased.
And the golden city ceased. Read on.
The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked.
The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked. Read on.
And the scepter of the ruler.
And the scepter of the ruler. Meaning the Lord is going to break the scepter of the oppressor, of this wicked ruler, of the wicked man. Read on.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke.
He smoked the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He's done that to us. I brought up the brother that was murdered in his car, man. The brother, man, that was murdered. Ahmaud Arbery for jogging in the wrong neighborhood. The sister, Miriam Carey, was murdered by those devils in D.C. The Capitol officers, man, them devils. And the Secret Service devil that murdered our sister, man, for having a mental breakdown. With the wrath, with a continual stroke. Read on.
He that ruled the nations in anger.
Yeah, ruled the nations in anger. Meaning the oppressor is angry. He is an evil, monstrous bastard who only seeks to destroy everything that's in his path. Read on.
Is persecuted.
Is persecuted. Now he's persecuted. Now he gets to be persecuted. And it's a glorious thing in my sight. Read on.
And none hindered.
And none hindered. Read on.
Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest.
Now the whole earth is at rest. The scriptures say, when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. But when the righteous bear authority, the people rejoice. The entire earth is going to rejoice when the oppressor is put down.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody is. Everybody is. Because he's an evil, wicked bastard, man. The whole earth is going to be at rest. Read on. Go ahead, Ashwa.
If I could, you saying that is like so heavy because like people always got all these questions about why the world's so bad and everything. And it's like your oppressor is the reason why the world is so bad.
It is.
He didn't just do his work over here. He did his work everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He polluting. He's making animals go extinct. The water, you can't drink the water. The rain coming down, the stuff in the rain. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his fault. If you're not even understanding the peace is gonna happen once he out of power, you're not even understanding the peace is gonna happen, but you want to save him and take him with you. It's a lot.
Right. And what you bring out is so heavy out is that they do these things. Like, you know what kills me every time they say, well, we need to stop pollution.
Right.
Y'all are the ones that is polluting the earth. You doing that. Y'all the ones that's dropping plastic in the ocean. Y'all doing that. Y'all think it's niggas. Let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure that every black and Hispanic man and woman has a cabinet or a drawer in their home where it's nothing but plastic. That ain't us. We ain't doing that. We don't know how to throw plastic away. We don't know how to throw our bags away. We not killing Shamu. That ain't us. We didn't go out there and kill the buffalo. You did that.
Right.
We didn't go out there and kill the whales, kill the orca. We don't do that. Esau's been doing that, and big shout out to Priest and Officer 5,000 Marauders. He brought this out last Friday. This is something that the oppressor does. It's in his nature. When we was in the tent chilling, our forefather Jacob, man, is a black man chilling. Esau is out here in the field having sex with the pigs, killing every animal out there. I know we just sit here like, look at this evil nigga right here. Look at him. What's wrong with him? It's not like he's just a murderous bastard. Like how many black people you know that go helicopter hunting? They getting helicopters and go shoot polar bears and ain't bothering nobody. And then put on the Coca-Cola bottle and we gotta save polar bears. Go ahead,
Right. If I could, riding in the helicopter and hunting as a black person was two things. Like we don't do that. Like, some of us hunt, but it's just like it sounds crazy when you say it. Helicopter's a lot. I see Esau shoot a fish with a spear and then jump in the water and go get a big fish, like bigger than him.
Yeah.
Like Esau is gonna figure out how to kill something.
Exactly.
If he gotta kill himself, he gonna kill something. This is an animal, it's himself, it's his dad, it's his mom, it's the other kids at school. He gonna kill somebody. Y'all don't understand that. We understand that here.
Do you know how long it would take you to convince us to come in here? You know how long it would take for somebody to come in here and convince us to get in the helicopter?
Right.
Like that's an hour conversation right there. You want me to do what? Get in that helicopter? Okay. I ain't no punk. But now you want me to get in the helicopter and shoot animals that ain't doing nothing to me?
Right.
What the polar bear do to me? He chilling. He ain't bothering nobody. And now you got the nerve to put the same polar bear you murdered on the Coca-Cola bottle saying that we gotta save the polar bear. Well, we're gonna save the polar bear, we're gonna save all the animals, we're gonna save the entire earth when you are put down and put in your place.
Right.
Read on.
The whole earth is at rest
Mhm.
and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
Everybody's going to sing that you are going to be out of here. Everybody, it's going to be a party and you're not invited. Because you ain't going to be here for real. It's going to be a party. The entire earth is going to sing and rejoice that you are out of here. Drop down to verse 12.
This is Isaiah 14 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Now, I had a sister tell me the other day, her brother, but Lucifer was the angel Satan. He fell down. He fell down. I was like, nah. Lucifer is a man, and we're going to go into that right now. Where it says, thou art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer. Read on.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning. Read on.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
This is the oppressor. Lucifer is a man. This is the white man. He cut down the nations. He has been ruling with a reign of terror up there above the sky. He put his skyscrapers up there. He loves to sit up there and be the overseer. It's like that parable, you know what I mean, our Yum Yum brothers have about the man on top of the hill. You on top of the hill, you see everything. Well, he ain't on top of the hill. Esau is on top of a skyscraper looking down at everything. You want to say something about what? All right, read on.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I will ascend unto heaven. I will go to the sky. You go down into your city, guess what? You see them skyscrapers everywhere. Taller than every other building. Read on. He had the same idea at the top. People like them wicked heathens during the Tower of Babel. You exalting your throne up there in the sky. You build a tower to reach unto heaven. Read on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. And I will exalt my throne over the Most High and over these niggas. I'm going to do that. The oppressor is an evil, wicked bastard. It shows you just how arrogant he is. Read on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
Oh, man. He said, I'm going to sit him on the mountain of the congregation. I'm going to be an overseer over everybody. Go ahead.
In the sides of the north.
In the sides of the north. Go ahead.
I will ascend above the heights of the cloud.
I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will go all the way up there. I'm going to see everything. I'm going to be on top of the world. Read on.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. He thinks he's God. He does. He said, I will be like him. But the oppressor has a God complex. The oppressor cannot stand the Most High. The oppressor hates the Most High Yahweh. He hates our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And he hates the 12 tribes of Israel, man. He hates us. He said, I will be like the Most High. Read on.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Thou shalt be brought down to hell. When Christians read it, they think, oh, he's going to be brought down to hell. He's going to be underground. And he's going to have a pitchfork pitching people. No, nigga, you in hell right now. Hell is the ghetto, the barrio, and the reservation. The oppressor is going to be brought down to hell. Now he's going to be in the ghetto. Now he's going to be in the barrio. Now he's going to be on the reservation. And the ghettos and barrios and reservations that we on right now, it's going to seem like heaven to Esau, because his conditions will be a lot worse. Go ahead, Oscar.
To the sides of the pit.
Mm-hmm.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee saying.
Now, this is where Christians lose me. Because they don't read this, Oscar. Right. They don't read this. Right. They say, Satan, you know what I mean, got cast out of heaven. Now he's in hell. Now he's just wandering about. You know what I mean? Nah, this is not talking about the angel Satan. Right. This is the oppressor, the white man, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And here's the cut. Read on.
Is this the man?
Is this the what?
Is this the man?
Is this the what?
The man.
Is this the man? Now everybody gonna be like, is this the man? There's gonna be a time where our kids are not gonna believe us. They're gonna be like, Father, McGillicuddy, him, in a museum somewhere. They're gonna be like, he ruled. They're gonna be looking at us like how our family look at us when we tell them that they're Israelites. They're not gonna believe it. They're gonna be like, this devil, Donald Trump, he did this. Read it again.
Is this the man?
Is this the man? Read on.
That made the earth to tremble.
That made the earth to tremble. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That came, that raped and pillaged our First Nation brothers and sisters that put the black and Hispanic man in captivity. That got our Hispanic brothers of the tribe of Issachar and the Balawan, you know what I mean, at the border right now with cages. Is this the man? Read on.
That made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms,
that did shake kingdoms, man, that shook kingdoms, that dropped bombs on everybody. Drop bombs on everybody, man, pushing his weight around. Read on.
that made the world as a wilderness,
That made the world as a wilderness, man. Made the world as a wild wilderness, like a jungle. Read on.
and destroyed the cities thereof,
And that destroyed the cities thereof, man. They destroyed our cities. They destroyed Blackwater. They destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma. They destroyed Rosewood. They firebombed Osage Avenue here in Philadelphia in 1985. They did this to us. Read on.
that opened not the house of his prisoners,
Read on.
all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lying lured, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. Now you've been cast away. Read on.
And as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet.
Now, what you got to understand is, here's the thing. Now the oppressor has been brought down. Now this is talking about, our king coming down, destroying the oppressor. If I could, I'd give me Revelations 13 and 9. I'm going to end with that. This is talking about, now the oppressor has been brought down. Now he's been slain. Now you've been brought down into the pit. Now you are in hell. And they have to go through this because they did this to our people. They did this to us. They did it. And what we have to understand now is the time that when we see this chaos that's going around, we see all of the things that these heathen are doing. Now it's time to stand back and stand by as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women and come into the Israelite school of UPK and build Christ's kingdom the right way. There's only one way to build Christ's kingdom, and that's to come through these doors, man. We've been doing this since 1969 out of 125th Street, all over New York, man. The truth ain't going nowhere. It's always been here in the Israelite school of UPK, and there is no truth out, and there is no truth outside of the Israelite UPK. I pray you understand. Read what you got at
God. This book of Revelation, 13, verse 9.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity, because the oppressor led us into captivity. He did that. He led Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women into captivity. He that leadeth into captivity, read on.
Shall go into captivity.
Shall go into captivity. He must go into captivity, meaning the oppressor is going to have to go into captivity. Now he's going to have to serve. Read on.
He that killeth with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword, read on.
Must be killed with the sword.
He killed us with the sword and continues to kill us with the sword. Like the brother that Oscar Watt brought out, the brother that was murdered in his car, that got lit up, that got shot up. Like the sister Miriam Carey, Vanessa Gilligan, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rashad Brooks, Ramon Lopez. He that killeth with the sword,
Oh God. Must be killed with the sword.
must be killed with the sword.
Here is the patience and faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's the patience and the saints, man. And as the Lord's chosen people, man, as Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation men and women, we have to come back and love one another. We have to do what our King said to do. Christ said, a new commandment that I give unto you, that you love one another as I loved you. And what is love, man? What is love? I'll tell you what love is. And I'm going to read it myself. Love is 2 John 1 and 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that, as ye have heard from the beginning, that you should walk in. We should walk in these commandments, man.
Right.
Love the Most High with all thy mind, all thy strength, and all thy soul, all thy essence, and love thy brother as thyself. And we do those, we keep all the laws, statutes, and commandments, and brotherhood will prevail here in the Israelite school of UPK. There is no brotherhood outside of the ISUPK. You want to experience real brotherhood, man, coming out the world, you have to come to these doors. You do. With that being said, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Yediah. This is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class, and I'm going to pass the class off to Priest and Officer 1000 Barzal.
Give Officer Yediah one more hand. We are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it at the 6th month. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to brother to speak to a brother or sister. Salaki, there's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this month period, the teacher, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You read about this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashra means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give it to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever so amount you would like to give, up and coming holy convocation will be the Purim 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, Thursday, February 25th, and Friday, February 26th, 2021. You can read about this in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 20, 31. Remind Akim to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, I mazu, which means to stand. Upon Wadam, which means turn to face the east. We're going to send up the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, then translate it in English. We won't do the whole prayer.
No, let's do the Lord's Prayer.
We're going to send up the Lord's Prayer. You can read about this in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 8 through 13. Repeat after me. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayat. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakaka. Raba'ah. Ratazayaka. Hayat. Aisha. Barak. Kawok. Hayat. Bashemayim. Adonai. Come. Yawam. Wasalak now. Abawak now. Asalak now. Abawak now. Love your eye now. Wanna say a word. Bo. I was shy now. My yun. Rock. Kayut. I'm a lock. Walla out. The power. I will love you. Amen.
Our Father,
which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us. From evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be.
Sorry, which means turn. In the Israel, we're going to get a brother's a courteous salute. In the Israel, Amal Shabbat, Aimajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua Barakatum, Yajmatah, which means hands down, sorry, which means turn. Brothers, we're going to give the sisters a courteous salute. Sisters, your feet want to be at a 45-degree angle, your right hand over your left, making sure your head is covered. And when we say Barak, we smash your chest. And when we say the blessings, then you say them back. It's locked. In the Israel, we're going to give the sisters a courteous salute. In the Israel, Amal Shabbat, Aimajim, Barak,
Yahweh Shamar Al-Thun Ba'ashem Yahushua.
What we said was me Christ. Salaki. We said me Christ watch over you in the name of the Most High. Salaki. Yahweh Ta'ala, class dismissed.